Hello, amazing mathematicians. Welcome back to High5 Education, where maths comes to life and learning is always an adventure. Today, we're stepping into the world of mathematics to discover a super useful idea called perimeter. But before we begin, here's a challenge for you. Imagine you have a beautiful garden and want to put a fence all the way around it. How would you know how much fencing to buy? Or imagine decorating a picture frame with ribbon. How much ribbon would you need to go around the entire edge? The answer is perimeter. So get ready to explore, calculate, and think like a real mathematician. Before we learn how to calculate perimeter, let's take a quick look at its history. The concept of perimeter goes back thousands of years to ancient civilizations. Ancient Egyptians, Babylonians, and Greeks used measurements to determine the boundaries of land, buildings, and other shapes. These measurements were important for construction, farming, and surveying. The word perimeter comes from two Greek words, peri, meaning around, and metron, meaning measure. So, when we hear the word perimeter, think of it as measuring all the way around a shape. Today, perimeter is still an important part of mathematics and is used in many real-life situations, such as measuring fences, gardens, rooms, and sports fields. Now that we know where the idea of perimeter comes from, let's learn how to find the perimeter of different shapes. Now that we know a little about the history of perimeter, let's learn what perimeter actually means. Perimeter is the total distance around the outside of a two-dimensional shape. Here's an easy way to remember it. Think of a fence surrounding a garden. The fence goes all the way around the garden, just like the perimeter goes all the way around a shape. So, when we find the perimeter, we add the lengths of all the sides together. Remember, perimeter means measuring around a shape. Let's try some examples and see how we can find the perimeter of different shapes. Now that we know what perimeter means, let's look at some important formulas that can help us find the perimeter quickly and accurately. Let's start with the rectangle. For a rectangle, we use the formula P equals 2L plus W. Here, P stands for perimeter, L stands for length, and W stands for width. Why do we multiply by 2? Because a rectangle has two equal lengths and two equal widths. For example, if a rectangle has a length of 8 inches and a width of 5 inches, we can substitute these values into the formula. P equals 2, 8 plus 5. First, add 8 and 5 to get 13. Then multiply by 2. P equals 26 inches. So, the perimeter of the rectangle is 26 inches. Now let's look at a square. Next, let's look at the square. Remember, a square has 4 equal sides. That makes the perimeter formula very simple. P equals 4S. Here, P represents the perimeter, and S represents the length of one side. For example, if each side of a square is 7 centimeters, we multiply 7 by 4. P equals 4 times 7 equals 28 centimeters. So, the perimeter of the square is 28 centimeters. Great job, mathematicians! Now let's make things a little more interesting and look at an irregular shape. An irregular shape may have sides of different lengths, but don't worry, the rule for finding its perimeter is still super simple. Remember, perimeter means the total distance around the outside of a shape. So, what do we need to do? That's right, we need to add the lengths of every side. Let's look at our example. Our irregular shape has side lengths of 3 meters, 1.5 meters, 14 meters, and 15 meters. Let's add them together step by step. P equals 3 meters plus 1, 0.5 meters plus 14 meters plus 15 meters. Now calculate the total. P equals 33.5 meters. Fantastic! The perimeter is 33.5 meters. So, remember this important rule. To find the perimeter of an irregular shape, add the lengths of all the sides. Easy, right? Let's begin with question 1. Rectangle. We have a rectangle with a length of 12 centimeters and a width of 5 centimeters. Take a moment to look at the measurements. Which formula can we use to find the perimeter? We can use the formula P equals 2L plus W. Let's substitute the values. P equals 2. 1, 2 plus 5. P equals 217. P equals 34 centimeters. Now, let's check our answer against the choices. A, 17 centimeters. B, 24 centimeters. C, 34 centimeters. D, 60 centimeters. Excellent work. The correct answer is C, 34 centimeters. Excellent work on question 1, mathematicians. Now, let's move on to question 2, square. This time we have a square with a side length of 4 centimeters. Remember, a square has 4 equal sides. So, to find its perimeter, we can use the formula P equals 4 times side. Let's substitute the value. P equals 4 times 4. P equals 16 centimeters. A, 18 centimeters. B, 16 centimeters. C, 36 centimeters. D, 81 centimeters. Fantastic! The correct answer is C, 16 centimeters. Remember, when finding the perimeter of a square, simply multiply the length of one side by 4. Fantastic work so far, mathematicians. Let's move on to question 3, irregular shape. This time, our shape has 5 sides, and each side has a different measurement. 4 centimeters, 6 centimeters, 8 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 7 centimeters. Remember our perimeter detective rule. Add every side length together. Let's calculate it. Let's add them step by step. P equals 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 7. P equals 30 centimeters. A, 20 centimeters. B, 25 centimeters. C, 30 centimeters. D, 35 centimeters. Excellent work. The correct answer is A, 30 centimeters. Remember, mathematicians, even when a shape looks complicated, finding its perimeter is simple. Add the lengths of all the sides. Excellent work, mathematicians. Now it's time for a bigger challenge. Take a look at the worksheet on the screen. We have 9 different shapes, and your mission is to find the perimeter of each one. Remember our golden rule. Perimeter is the total distance around the outside of a shape. So, we need to add the lengths of all the sides. Notice how the shapes can look completely different. Squares, rectangles, triangles, parallelograms, trapezoids, and hexagons. But the main idea stays the same. Add the lengths of every side to find the perimeter. And remember to always check the unit of measurement in your answer: centimeters, meters, feet, or inches. Let's work through the shapes together. Now, let's see how perimeter use in real-life example. Sports fields. Imagine you're standing around the edge of a football or soccer field. The line around the outside is the boundary of the field. If we want to know the total distance around that boundary, for example, to plan fencing, paint the boundary line, or check the field's measurements, we can use perimeter. For example, imagine a rectangular football field that is 100 meters long and 60 meters wide. P equals 100 plus 60 plus 100 plus 60. P equals 320 m. So, the total distance around the football field is 320 meters. See how useful perimeter can be? Whenever you need to measure the distance around the outside of a sports field, garden, playground, or other space, perimeter can help. Let's look at another everyday example where perimeter is useful: picture frames. Imagine you are making a frame for a favorite photograph. The frame needs to go around the outside edge of the picture. So, how can we work out how much frame material we need? That's right, we use perimeter. For example, suppose a rectangular picture is 30 centimeters long and 20 centimeters wide. To find the amount of frame material needed around the picture, we add all 4 sides. P equals 30 plus 20 plus 30 plus 20. P equals 100 centimeters. So, we would need 100 centimeters of frame material to go around the picture. See how perimeter helps us in real life? Whether we're making a picture frame, building a fence, or marking a sports field, perimeter tells us the total distance around the outside. Remember, mathematicians, if you're measuring around it, think perimeter. Here's another exciting real-life application of perimeter: running tracks. Think about a runner going around the outside of a track. The distance around the track is related to its perimeter. For example, imagine a simple rectangular training track that is 80 meters long and 40 meters wide. To find the distance around the track, we add all 4 sides. P equals 80 plus 40 plus 80 plus 40. P equals 240 m. So, the perimeter of the training track is 240 meters. This is useful when planning sports facilities, marking boundaries, or working out how far someone travels around a track. So remember, When you measure the distance around something, you're using perimeter. And that's it for today, mathematicians. You did an amazing job exploring perimeter, solving problems, and discovering how we use it in real life. If maths sometimes feels difficult or you feel like you're struggling with maths, don't give up. Remember, making mistakes is a normal part of learning, and every problem you practice helps you become more confident. Take your time, read the question carefully, break the problem into smaller steps, and remember our golden rule. When finding perimeter, add the lengths of all the sides. You don't have to get everything right straight away. Keep practicing, keep asking questions, and keep believing in yourself. Thank you for learning with High5 Education today. Give yourself a big high five. And that's it for today's lesson. If you're struggling with math, science, or English, remember you're not alone. And struggling doesn't mean you can't succeed. Sometimes, you just need the right guidance, the right strategies, and a little more confidence. At High5 Education, we're here to help you understand difficult topics, build your skills, and believe in what you can achieve. So keep practicing, keep asking questions, and never be afraid to make mistakes, because every mistake is a step towards learning. This is High5 Education, where learning becomes easier, confidence grows, and every learner gets the support they need. Keep learning, keep growing, and give yourself a high five! If you'd like to learn more or get support, you may contact High5 Education by messaging us through our page. Email office@high5education.com.au. Website www.high5education.com.au. Facebook @High5 Education. YouTube @High5 Education. WhatsApp 61435195888. See you in the next lesson. Bye-bye, class.